Thank you. And one thing is urgent now. You have heard, I think, the Amnesty International has recently, just I can say 2 days ago, called on an urgent action against possible imminently execution of the jailed former head of Uyghur University, Tashpolat Tayyip. And they urged China's Chairman Xi to intervene in his case and release him unconditionally. And we know that many other Uyghur intellectuals are facing the same fate as a part of China's plan to eradicate the Uyghurs in our homeland. We also know it very well that Xi himself masterminded the genocide and very determined to reach his goal here. The outside world is still believing that the CCP leaders could uphold the justice and release those innocent individuals. For us, it's like to play the lute to a car, but we really urge international community to act immediately to make pressure on Chinese regime, because they do care about their reputation. Otherwise, China could send Tashpolat Tayyip and other intellectuals to the other world easily. What could the human rights organizations like Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International do here?
Well, since this news came a few days ago, we've been scrambling to press a number of the governments that traditionally are very strong on these kinds of issues, but also some of the international academic institutions that have or in the past have had relationships with that university in Urumqi, to push them to work for his release, to execute a peaceful academic would just be, one of the gravest kind of human rights violations there is. And I think so soon after, the death in detention of Nobel Peace Prize winner Liu Xiaobo and other fairly high-profile Chinese government activists or Chinese independent activists, the reputation that China is getting for detaining people and letting them die in detention or executing them is appalling. Or giving them life sentences or very harsh sentences, such as that given to Ilham Tohti. These are people who the outside world clearly understands are keys to the longer term settlement of serious grievances or an end to human rights violations, not people who are threats to the state. And I think China not only commits a grave human rights violation if it goes ahead with this, but it also does a terrific job of alienating governments around the world. And so, we certainly join our Amnesty colleagues in the call that he immediately be released, that the charges be dropped, that he be allowed to leave the country. There's no other right way out of this situation.
Xi Jinping has created, Mr. Speaker, one of the worst human rights tragedies on the face of the earth. Xi Jinping and his government are directly responsible for these crimes against humanity. Our hope is that a reckoning is coming, but only if the international community stands up to China.